Hi everybody, and welcome to yet another breed review. This time we're taking a look at, obviously, the marvelous new Morgans. I'm really excited to check these out, actually. I think the colors look really cute, and we'll see how they look in game. First off, let's turn off the snow. Oh, you get 3 out. What colors do we have? I guess this is like a silver bay, kind of. Looks really nice. I have thoughts about the models, I won't go into them right now. I want to get to the clubhouse, but first off we're gonna buy the horse. That's a cool color. This one is a little bit weird. It's very orange, very saturated. This one is cute. So pretty. I really like the coats, actually. I'm kind of torn between these two. But this one reminds me of the Gotland pony a little bit. I think I'll go with this one because this one's a pretty cool, like, I don't know if we have a color like that. I like how it's like nothing on this side and then a lot on this side. That's really nice. So let's see, what main styles do we have? We have the long one here. Button braids, of course. I wish I could rotate like from above here. What is this? Like a roached, shaved kind of mane. Long braids, roached. And a normal short kind of sport clipped. I just wish it wasn't so like straight across here. It's giving him a bowl cut kind of. That's kind of cute though. Got a really cute tail. Looks kind of bushy, you know. Let's keep to the default one for now. I might change it later. What shall we name this horse? I didn't really plan this far. Let's do Archie maybe. That's cute. No, I forgot to take off the tack of my Icelandic because I was gonna like ride now, but whatever. We'll send to Sable and just go there and pick him up. Whatever. I'll be back in a second. I'm like trying not to look at it as I'm running along and like as I was putting on tack and stuff because I really want to like really analyze and dive into this when we get into the riding hall, because it's like it's hard to do a first impression when you have to buy the horse first. Okay, here we are. What do we have here? First thought, it's really tiny. I didn't think it was going to be this small. Like, it's really a pony-sized horse. But, okay, first let me start off by saying I don't have any real-life experience with Morgans because they're not common in Sweden. Like, it's not a breed that we have here. So I don't really have much. I only have, like, I've seen pictures and I know of the breed. I'm not entirely sure what's, like, breed standard and what's not. I've been seeing a lot of discussion about this breed. And apparently there's like 2 types of Morgans. There's one that's more modern with like, I think people were saying there were like elements of saddlebred kind of breeds mixed into it now. So it's a bit sleeker and like more modern. But then you have the more standard, like stockier kind of Morgan horse. And apparently after the trailer that dropped 2 days ago, I saw people saying that this was more like that type of breed. And I obviously can't judge based off of a breed standard that I don't know myself. But just so we're on the same page here, I'll be judging this as a horse, not necessarily as a Morgan, if that makes sense. So let me just stay with that. And I would love to hear you guys' comments if you have any experience with Morgans in real life. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, how realistic it is, and whatnot. But yeah, first impression, I think it's really cute. Like, it's a pretty cute horse. And it, like, the thing that kind of, I think, throws me off a little bit is the head and the forehead feels really wide. And it kind of reminds me of a horse that that's boarded at our farm. She also has like a really wide forehead and she looks kind of funky with it. Because like the head itself isn't big. It's kind of stocky, but it's not big. But the forehead is wide. Like the eyes are really wide set. It's giving that kind of almost a bit bug-eyed look. Which kind of reminds me of the Welsh pony. Because the Welsh pony in game isn't great. Or it's not bad, it's just like it looks a little bit funny. And I guess that's what this reminds me of. Let me actually dismount. I might have to like just put my camera a bit closer actually, because it's just so small. It's like the coat is nice, I think. It looks pretty detailed, I want to say. It's not extreme like some of the Arabians have like every single individual hair painted on them, which is a pain in the butt when you edit photos because it's really hard to like replicate and edit out stuff. I think it looks really nice. Like here, you can see it in the Sabino markings. Is this a Sabino? I think it is. I didn't read the news. Maybe it said the code colors. I think this is called a Sabino. But it looks nice. It looks detailed enough. It's shiny. But it's equally shiny all over. If we remember the Belgians that were like really nice in front and then terrible in the back. The face looks really nice. I really like the face details. Like, besides from the fact that it has really wide set eyes, I like this shape. I really like the profile of it. Like, this is pretty nice. It's the eyes a little bit. I think they're a bit big and a bit round, which I think is what's throwing me off a little bit. But the face and the nose and the muzzle, really nice. I like that it has like a slight concave nose. This looks really nice. I think also another thing is I think the noseband looks decent. It could be a little bit higher up. It could be like up here. But that's one thing that's been annoying me of some of the new horses that have come out that can wear these types of bridles, which I absolutely love these bridles because they look so nice, but they sit terribly in some of the horses. Like on the Pasofino, it looks absolutely terrible, which is such a shame. I think this is decent, but had this been me in real life or whatever, I would have upped the noseband like maybe 2 holes to have it more under here, kind of underneath the cheek piece, or like underneath the cheek. In the middle of the nose, here, like there. I'm picky, but you know what I mean. You know me by now. This is what we do. But like, except for that, I think it looks really nice. I think maybe one thing, I don't know if it was just this color. I gotta be completely honest. I didn't really look too much into the colors because I didn't want to like start evaluating them too much. But it feels a little bit desaturated. Like, I'm assuming the mane is supposed to be this like kind of brownish color, but it's just like the shadow feels a little bit lackluster, if that makes sense. I just like a little bit more contrast. Everything looks a little bit muted. I also wish there was a little bit more forelock because he has a lot of mane and quite a lot of tail. The tail is quite bushy, but yeah, it's like no forelock. He's got no hair, poor guy. But he's cute. I think he's really cute. Like, spontaneously, yes, the horse is really adorable, I think. It's a cute little... I don't think they're classified as ponies, right? But he's a good pony anyway. I like the animation of the tail here. It's got a lot of life going on. Like, it seems like there's a lot of rigs in the tail, which I like. It's not like one solid piece of, you know, clump looking at you, Frisians. But I think it looks really nice, actually. I think the mane looks really nice. Yeah, I think it's cute. It's cute. Something about it, though, like overall the horse is really cute, but something about the legs feels a bit disproportionate. It feels like the pasterns here. Maybe it's the fact that the boots are a bit big, maybe, but like it feels like the leg or the front legs are a bit disproportionate. It's like it couldn't quite reach the ground, so they just like stretch the legs a little bit. But that's if we walk. Okay, hold on. Something here is going on. I'm so slow. I'm trying to capture this one specific. It looks like, because it's like there's a moment in time where the horse like bends the front leg, and it looks like it doesn't, like it's not aligned with the shading here. Like that muscle should kind of go down here, but if you look from the side here, you can see that like this whole forearm muscle, like this piece here is like bent up here. That makes sense. Again, details. I'm being picky. Because I feel like the forearm should be kind of emerging from here, or the muscle should be like attached here, because that's why you have the shading here. You have this like shoulder muscle here. I guess this would be like our traps kind of, and then you have, I guess it would be like the bicep kind of, if we're trying to apply human anatomy, or not really, because it's like whatever. Let's not try to compare too much. The muscle feels like it should be coming from here and then go straight out to the knee here, but it's bending here. It's bending like way back here. It looks like this muscle would be attached up here. Well, it should be attached up here. And I'm comparing that to the shading. Had the shading been down here, that would have been fine. Like, it's not terrible. It's just like, that's kind of weird how it doesn't align with its own shading. Like the little sway of the tail. It's got a lot of hind leg activity. Again, it feels like in the back here, it feels like if the pasterns were too short here, it feels like they're too long here. Like, at least when it walks, something looks a little bit off. It's a little bit uncanny valley. It's close, but it's not really. And then it's like, but I can't really pinpoint what it is. I think it also looks like, okay, how to describe this without looking like a fool. I think one of the things that kind of like, if I can, it feels like the butt should be a little bit bigger, and the pastern, not the pastern, like this part, again, English terminology, I apologize. I would have been better at this in Swedish. Please don't take away my credibility. But like the pastern here feels a little bit long, which is why the hawk is quite high up. And this part feels proportionate, but because the pastern is too long, or like this part here is too long, this ends up being a little bit too high up. So the butt feels a little bit small. Like look when they, like if you look at this here, it just feels like, it feels like it should be longer. Or I don't know, maybe it's the fact that, because here it looks okay, but like when it lifts, it feels like the butt is too high up. And maybe it's the same thing like with the, that we were talking about here. How it's like not aligned with the muscles, or like aligned with the shading, I guess. And I feel like it's kind of the same thing here, where like I feel like the butt should be a little bit bigger. It feels like the butt is too attached, if that makes sense. Something is a little bit uncanny valley. It also feels a little bit like sluggish. It almost looks like he's like injured his like the muscle that kind of moves the leg forward, because he looks a little bit stiff. Poor guy could use a vet visit. Especially like in front of the hawks. The hawks are very straight all the time. We'll see if the trot has any difference. Whoa. That was a lot more movement than I thought it was. See, okay, if we look at the hind legs, if we start off with the hind legs. In walk, the legs, like the hawk barely bends in the walk. Which isn't terrible, but it just feels like he's like moving, he has to compensate that by moving his like knee too much. You know what I mean? Like, had he bent his hawk a little bit more, he wouldn't have to like use his hip as much. But then you go into trot here, and now it feels like he's not bending, or like he's not straightening out his legs at all. Now the legs feel so much longer. I don't know why. Like, see here, why is he not straightening out his legs? It's like he's crouching a little bit. It's kind of the same thing as with the Belgians in the extended canter, how they never like actually fully like extend, I guess. It's like they're crouching all the time. This is not the furthest back the horse's legs should be, right? It's better, but it's never like straight, which feels a little bit uncanny valley. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is what it actually looks like, but it feels like if you look at the front leg here, you have that full extension, but you don't have that. Like it's, look at the difference in the angle between the front leg and the back leg. And I mean, like if you were to look at a dressage horse, the ideal dressage movement, like if you're looking at like an extended trot, for example, you want the hind leg and the front leg to have the same type of angle, and this horse does not. It's not a dressage horse, but you know, that's kind of like the principle. Like that's, if it has a good trot, it should be kind of symmetrical and it should be engaged at all times. And now it just feels like he's kind of like crouching, you know? I think that's what's throwing me off the most. The front legs also look a little bit funky. It's like, it's just so like, it's a little bit, it feels a little bit disproportionate. I think, yeah, okay, this is what's weirding me out here. It's like he's bending his hoof instead of, oh my god, what do you call this? His fetlock? Jesus Christ, sorry. It's like he's bending his hoof instead of his fetlock. But it's like, it's not bending up here. It's like he's completely straight up until his like hoof joint. Which, obviously, yeah, the hoof joint is bending. But it should, the bending should also come from like, basically if this is the pastern, this should be the hoof. You go this way. My cat just pulled out the cord of my lamp. The criminal. Look at how big she's gotten though. She was a feature in the first episode as well. And now she's here causing chaos. Yes. But yeah, I think that's what's throwing me off so much about the movement, because it's like, why is it not bending here? Like, look at the back hoof here. Even though this is a bit exaggerated maybe, like the boot clips a little bit, but it's not. Look at how it bends here, and then look at how it doesn't bend there. Oh, that's a little bit annoying. I'm not a game designer in any way, and I will not pretend that I am, and I will not pretend that I know everything about how rigging works or animation works with these horses, but like, that feels like such a basic general thing that should be honored in all horses, if that makes sense. Like, no matter who makes them, no matter what the design is, no matter what the breed is, like, the basic fundamentals of where a horse bends when moving, I think should be a little bit more committed to, if that makes sense. Because that doesn't feel like a rigging limitation or whatever. That just feels like somebody forgot or messed up a little bit, you know what I mean? Which is a shame. I will be frank and say that. But overall, so far, the horse is okay. It's not the most well made, and it's not my favorite horse so far, but like, it's an okay horse. And again, I know I say this in like every episode, I'm being picky because I can, because the game allows me to be picky now, because the horses are so nice. Anyways, canter. We'll see which canter is it. It's left. Oh, it's doing the same thing again. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it's doing the same thing again. It's like it's hyperextending its toes. It's kind of like it's doing this instead of doing this. Look at this part here. Like, it's so this part is so hyperflexed, while this part is pretty straight. And it's like that for the entire movement. It's also here. Like, it's at all times, the knee, like the flexion of the knee doesn't really correspond with the flexion of the fetlock. But instead, the toe is like, or like the hoof is like constantly engaged. Which feels a little bit weird. And again, the spaghetti legs that are going on here. I don't, like, there's no hock left here. You see that? Like, here it has its nice triangular shape, but then it bends like right in the middle of that, and it doesn't look like that anymore. Like, this part here, the top of the back legs, I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called in English, above the hocks, is like too skinny, and it doesn't feel like it's attached in the right way. That makes sense. And again, it's never like, there's no moment where it fully extends its hind legs. Like, there's no moment that I can see anyways. You're so welcome to prove me wrong, please. There's no moment where it actually like straightens out the hock joint. Also, it feels like the movement of the tail is quite exaggerated. That's a picky detail. It just, like, nothing else is moving this much. It's also, I think it's might be the fact that it's lifted so high up, and it feels like it should just be a little bit more, like, we're not going that fast. Okay, middle canter then. This horse looks so lame. And I'm not saying lame as in boring, I'm saying lame as in, like, in pain. I think one thing, is how all of a sudden he has, like, okay, it wasn't super noticeable here, but when he's cantering, it's almost like he gets, like, he does, like, this in his neck. And I'm not saying every horse has to be, like, on the bit working in a frame or on the vertical, but it's like, does he have to do that, you know? Kind of, like, pushing against and, like, not using his top line or his back to carry himself. He's just like, ugh. And again, the tail, just a little bit too much. And again, it's the back legs. I feel like it's pointless of me to point out the damn toes again. But I mean, it's just, like, too much. Again, like, the back, it feels like the back legs are stretching, but I feel like I need to, like, you know, measure every single part of the movement to know, but it feels like it's stretching. It feels like it's not consistent, like, in its length. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, maybe it's probably just imaginary, but it feels like the back legs are too long. That's why he's crouching, like, all the time. Because again, not stretching out. And it's like, he has a big reach in the middle canter. Again, something just feels like really uncanny valley on this. Like, I don't like it. The model itself is cute, and I think it looks cute in pictures, but I do not like the movement of it. Like, there's a lot of reach going on here. But then he snaps back again with his left hind leg. He's on the left lead, so obviously the left hind is going to be, like, reaching in further. It's going to be reaching in further than the right hind does. But it's just like, it snaps back so fast. And again, there's just so much going on, and it's like, okay. Let's move on to the extender, I guess. This is better. This feels more proportionate, I guess. Still have that weird snapping of the hind leg that I don't like. It's like, it's not fluid. Like, there's something, it's like it jolts a little bit, you know what I mean? But I like this one better, I'd say. I like this one better. Like you see here, okay, this is a good picture actually to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Here you see the front leg is in full extension. This looks really good. This part here looks awesome. This part here does not look awesome. It's like, why is he not stretched out with his back leg? Like you can see here, he's not on the ground anymore. He's like, his toe has just left the ground. But he should be like in full extension. He should be pushing off the ground in that moment. You know what I mean? So why is he not like fully flexed? Like this is supposed to be like a proper, you know, chasing canter, you know what I mean? Or like a chasing gallop. But he's like, it's like he's holding back with his hind legs all the time. Ah, okay. Okay, those were all the gates. Overall, it's not the worst horse there is. It's not. And it's like, again, I'm able to be picky because they've shown us so much good quality. I can't exactly pinpoint who made this horse, or who made the horse, but it's like the only two like groups of horses that I can really pair together are like the horses that are like the Paint, the Arabian, the Halflinger, like those horses that are all made by Nomi. I hope I'm correct, but like I know Nomi made the Paints and the Arabians, and I'm pretty sure she made the Halflingers because they're so well made. They look awesome. And then you have like the Pasofino, and you have like the Belgian Warmblood, and I feel like this one falls into that category a little bit. I'd assume that it's maybe the same artist, but I don't know if that's actually published anywhere, and I don't know, I can't say for certain who's made them. But this horse reminds me of that, and it obviously reminds me a bit of the Welsh, because I see some of the things that I don't like about the Welsh horse I see in this horse as well, besides the bug eyes. It's like overall not a terrible horse, but I am a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, because that feels a little bit unfair, because it's like I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know anything about this breed. I was excited for a new horse. I wanted to make a new video because this is so much fun to do. But it's like, this is not a horse that I'm like thrilled by, and I don't see myself buying any more of them right now. I will never say never, but right now I don't feel like, oh yeah, I want another horse, you know what I mean? I guess we'll have a look at the like special animations. I don't think they have a special gate, do they? I don't think they have a special animation. No. No. Okay, no they don't. Let's take a look at the rear then. First off, we can look at the jumping last. Let's see. Ooh, I really like that rear actually. Look at how he sits on his haunches. And how he like, okay, you know what I talked about with the Tennessee Walker? How it reared like somebody was yanking on the bit. Like he does this and he throws himself up and he's like, oh god, you know, it looks like he's gonna tip over. This horse, like, he rears, he starts by sitting on his haunches, then he brings his head up, then the chest follows. Hell yeah! That looks awesome! Are you kidding me? It's like my favorite rearing animation ever, I think. I really like the Paint horn as well. And the Arabian is nice, but like, this one's so nice. This one feels so powerful, which is so like, and it also feels so physical. Does that make sense? Like, it feels like feels logical, which is funny considering it didn't look too logical in the gates. This makes sense. It looks like the horse looks heavy, like as it should. It looks like a horse. How do I put that into words? Oh my god, I'm obsessed with the rear. Can I like only rear from now on? I love that. Obsessed, absolutely obsessed. Holy crap. He has some weird clipping going on. His forearm is really skinny. But the animation itself, I love that. I love that rear so much. Oh my god. That shocked me. I really didn't think I was gonna like, because the rears usually don't mean anything. Like, you know, it's a cool picture and it's like, ah. But this like, this feels like a trick. It feels like this is a taught thing. This isn't a pain response or a flight instinct. This is just like up and then it's like, yeah, I love that. I love that rear. Oh my god, what? Okay, let's look at the sliding stop then. He goes so wide with his back legs. Whoa. Like, his legs are barely attached anymore. And it's like, if you've ever seen like the Western horses doing their sliding stops, they are wide with their legs, with their back legs, because obviously otherwise they were gonna hit their front legs. But it's like their hocks are pretty straight, or they're like a little bit wider, but then they're they do this basically, you know, when you break on skis. And now he's just like like you can see it's his knees that are like out. Also, he's not stopping straight. Everything that I've seen so far, except for the rear, makes me want to like bring this horse to a vet. He's not stopping straight, he's not walking straight, he's not like moving symmetrically. This guy needs a vet visit. Probably some chiro and a massage and maybe some treatments. I don't know. I guess we'll bring out the jumps then and have a look at that. Let's see. Collected canter first off. Oh, that reminds me of the Belgian. Let me see if I can grab a photo. Ah, he's doing the Finors thing. Look at the T-Rex arms. Oh man, and the clipping here. Why do that? Like, he's not bringing his shoulders or his elbows forward. He's just like sucking his forearms into his body. Oh, not great, not great. But like just looking at it, like in game or whatever, in one fluid motion, it looks fine. Like it has a nice like shape of the jump. Let me see if I can get a back leg picture. Again, weird clipping. Like it's like his knees, like the horse's skeleton goes from here to here to here, here. And it feels like the ligaments that hold together the knee are non-existent, which is why it goes so far up his own butt. I like that the rider is actually in the saddle though. That's nice. Again, I'm seeing a lot of the I'm seeing a lot of the Belgian in this horse, which just further strengthens my theory that it's the same person. But like, yeah, it's the same thing. It jumps quite nice. It has a nice shape. It looks like there's less clipping in the hind legs here. Let me see if I can get a picture. But it's the T-Rex arms. Like you see that? It's like the front, like the knees are barely touching, or like barely leaving the chest. You know how there's this like expression of like knees to nose, where jumpers will like put their knees up to like their face basically. That's not happening because it's like physically impossible here because the legs go back instead. That's my main complaint about that. Let me just have a look at the hind legs as well, because the hind legs it looks like they are clipping less here. Let me see. Maybe not. It just felt like they were, I don't know, they're extending a little bit more, but whatever. I feel like I need to move on. I don't like being negative about the horses, but this is not, it's not impressing me so far. Okay, let's look at the extended jump. Okay, so that looks better. Just overall, like, I think it's still clipping a little bit, but the movement itself or whatever looks better. If you remember how much I ranted about the Passo Fino, the Belgian, I mean, how it like brought his head up and then like jumped like this. This horse is actually jumping really nicely here. If it wasn't for the T-Rex arms, this would actually jump really nice, honestly. Whoa, those are some funky looking hind legs, but they are clipping less up here. It's just like it feels like they're brought back so far, but this actually doesn't look terrible. The extended jump was actually the best so far, which is surprising. I feel like it's usually the middle jump that looks the best, but here it's definitely the extended looks the best in my opinion. I think that looks really nice. I guess we'll go and do a race. We can do the new races at Steve's here. Alright, let's see. I haven't really learned this course yet, but... Oh, there's a lot of tail going on. I didn't think about how much it was, like, flipping. It looks a little bit weird, though, because it, like, the tail flicks up really far, but then it almost snaps back again as he lands. It doesn't feel like it follows through with the motion, if that makes sense. But just riding like this feels decent. Like, it feels okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not gonna, like, pain me to train this horse, you know what I mean? Not like the Icelandics. I don't like the Icelandics because I can't stand the four-beat canter, which even though it's obviously breed logical, but that's why I don't like it. Icelandic horses are not for me. Overall, pretty cute horse. Oh god, I meant the wrong. The geese are definitely not the best. I think there's a lot of stuff to be desired, but I think it's a cute horse. I think it's gonna probably look really nice in pictures. I just wish it didn't have so many, like, the T-Rex arms weren't so bad, because I really like taking jumping pictures. Besides the fact that it has the really big forehead, like the really wide set forehead, or the wide set eyes, I guess. It looks fine. Just like looking at it. It's just, yeah. The legs are throwing me off. This horse is like meh for me. It's fun with new horses. I like the coats. I thought they looked quite nice. I think they look cute enough, but I just yeah, it's not mind-blowing. But they're cute. And I think I just wish they'd gotten like a little bit more. How do I say this without sounding condescending? And I like apologize. I mean, I understand like people, they spend so much time on these horses and they spend so much like, and a lot of, I'm sure there's a ton of research and a lot of work going into these. But this horse to me, and again, I'm not even judging this based off of like, is it a Morgan or not? I'm literally just basing this one off of like physics. Like, does it move like a horse? Does it work like a horse? And again, had this come out like, I don't know, 3 years ago, it would have been mind-blowing. Like, it would have been so good. But now we've seen better, which is why I think it affords the criticism, if that makes sense. No hate to the artist at all. Absolutely none. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. I could not do it, probably. Is there a hole in the arena? Hello? What the hell is this? Why is it? What? Okay. Sorry. But it's just, this is not my favorite horse. It's not gonna be. I don't really enjoy the animations, unfortunately. I think it has a lot of stuff that I would have preferred to see change. I understand that it's not going to, and I'm not expecting it to. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I would have wished for more from this horse, or from this model. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. These are stuff that I like. Like the rear. I love the rear. The rear is so good. Can I pet you? Oh, you actually pet it! Oh my god, you actually pet the horse. I didn't even try that. I like kind of forgot this thing existed. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Never mind, it's a 10 out of 10 horse. But yeah, no, I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. I like it. It's fine. It's cute. I probably won't be buying anymore unless a coat comes out that I really like. Anyways, I think that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed another breed review. I think these are so much fun to make, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I love hearing you guys' thoughts about these horses. So please do leave a like and a comment of what you think about this horse. I'd love to hear some opinions, and if you completely disagree with me and think this is their best horse, then awesome. I'm so happy for you. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!